Okay, well, welcome. It's nice to see even a few of you here to hear our discussion. Cities of tomorrow, we know in Cyprus, of course, that many of our, not just cities but villages, involves tourism. And sustainability is what we're going to talk about on this panel. So I'd like to welcome from the right, Philippos Drousiotis, the Executive Chairman of the Cyprus Sustainable Tourism Industry. Athina, Panayiotou, Director General of the Cyprus Organization for Standardization. Yianna Boustany, who's Director of the Poseidonia Beach Hotel in Limassol. Vakis Loizides from the Deputy Ministry of Tourism. And Yianna Orphanidou, and I did that wrong because that's the order they're going to speak in because we have some audio-visual presentations for you. So thank you to all our panelists. And everybody's running late, so we're on very strict orders. We're going to cut our presentation times down to try and catch up. So I will ask first and foremost for the panelists to do their little bit, and then I want us to have an open discussion with you, the audience, because I'm hoping you will show us where you think the priorities on these issues should lie, and we'll have a hopefully very animated discussion afterwards. I just would like to say at the very beginning, I think it's very important for us all to understand that pretty well everything in the tourism sector changes amazingly fast. I think they'll agree with me. I hope so. I'm not a tourism expert. But health and safety, legal requirements, customer expectations particularly, the list is endless. So I'm looking forward to hearing our panelists say how they intend to deal with all these issues, and then, as I say, an animated discussion with you, the audience, afterwards. Philippos, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you for inviting me to come here. My name is Philippos, as was said. I'm the Executive Chairman of the Cyprus Sustainable Tourism Initiative, known as CSTI. And in my opening statement, I will say that we are an organization promoting sustainable tourism. We are people from the tourist industry. We like the tourist industry to become more sustainable and more responsible. When we started back in 2006, sustainability was an unknown word, and nobody knew the word sustainability. And when we approached the hotels and the people in the tourist industry, they didn't have any clue about what sustainability meant. We're very pleased to see that 20 years almost after that, we see more interest for people to join our efforts to make tourism more sustainable and more responsible. Yes, tourism has caused problems to the environment, caused problems to the society, yes, but tourism is necessary. Cyprus has 4 million tourists and we want them. And tourism also provides what I call the invisible benefits. If we don't have tourists, we see that life is not the same. Then we see what happened with the tourist industry when we have COVID. And yes, tourism does contribute towards achieving the 17 SDGs. And we see that the 17 SDGs during the COVID period, they had no progress. Tourism is a very vibrant industry, a very creative industry that, if it's done properly, will bring the results that we want to in the society, in the environment, and in the prosperity of the communities.
All right, thank you, and for keeping that very short. That's great. Thank you very much indeed, Philippos.
I'd like to ask questions. I'd like to be asked questions. That's easier.
Yes, but we'll ask questions for everybody, okay, I think, afterwards,
okay.
Because I hope a lot of this will bat off each other. So could I now please ask Athina Panayiotou, Director General of the Cyprus Organization for Standardization, to give us your take on the issues.
Thank you, Rosie, for the introduction. Thank you to the organizers for inviting us to speak. Like Rosie said, I work for standards, but I also work for a certification body, the Cyprus Certification Company. Now, when we speak about sustainability and we see around, sometimes it's there are words that are trending, not just for things that young people like and they're trending on TikTok, but also business-wise. And sustainability has been trending for a few years now. Now, there is no maybe uniform definition of what sustainability is and how to achieve it. So in standards, we provide the tools with which you can achieve sustainability in all areas: environment, health and safety, quality, and certainly in the hotel industry, there's been movement towards sustainability for more than 20 years in Cyprus. A lot of hotels, a lot of tourist establishments have been implementing international standards, and nowadays there's a lot more that are very specific for the hotel industry. So I'm here to speak about some of these standards, to answer any questions, and to tell you how maybe you can use them as tools towards sustainability.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Athina. So now we'll move on to our third presentation. Yianna Boustany is director of the Poseidonia Beach Hotel in Limassol. I think our audio-visual people have a video she would like to play while she speaks. So if you could do that, please, then whenever you're ready. And I'm not sure if you see it there, but certainly I think it comes up there.
Hello, I am Genia, leading the journey of Poseidonia Beach Hotel towards sustainability. At Poseidonia, we reached a crossroad 3 years ago, where we realized that business as usual was no longer viable. There was a wave happening abroad, and we were eager to be riding it. We understood that having the best location in Limassol, if I can allow myself to say that, was no longer enough. Just like selling Cyprus as sun and sea destination was no longer enough. We needed to balance our economic, social, and environmental considerations and goals. We had to find a way to be economically viable, socially acceptable, and ecologically bearable in order to ride that wave. Moving towards a more sustainable operation became our goal. We always had initiatives happening over the years, but they were scattered and not well structured. We drafted our policy statement, identified the short and long-term goals, and modified policies that were no longer in line with our renewed vision. We gathered a team of committed people, we armed them with knowledge, empowered them with freedom of speech and taking initiative. We succeeded in creating a culture. Greener, bluer, brighter. Our motto, which is being currently registered for intellectual property, leads all of our actions. Our green ambassadors excel at thinking as if there is no box, and this is partly due to lack of proper local guidance. Recycling soap with Operation Soap 2.0, which got recognized by the Booking.com sustainability team in Amsterdam. We made waves with Make Waves plastic lids collection point. We invited people to explore the doors by representing the SDGs on reuse bedroom doors. We even implemented Clean Cycle and replaced plastic laundry bags with reused pillow protectors. On a more in-the-box level, we have reduced our water flow by 4 liters and 3.3 liters per minute from every guest room by implementing restrictors. We have eliminated the use of 42,000 plastic laundry bags and 252,000 plastic tubes till date. We sort our waste into 4 categories and collect cooking oil, batteries and lamps, ink, and plastic lids. We have now added a 5th bin for the organics in preparation for the pay-as-you-throw program, although we have no idea where or how we will be composting them at the moment. We believe in adding ER after our adjectives and RE before our verbs. Now comparing this to a bigger scale. Unfortunately, most of these essential elements do not exist on a higher governmental level in regards to sustainability. Planning is often short-term. Projects are oriented towards short-term economic results. Decisions are made by considering personal benefits, and relationships often influence decision-making. There is no true environmental culture. The local society in general collides with the principle of sustainable development. We lack knowledge and time for cultural growth. Everything we need is in front of us, but sometimes we overlook the obvious. Sadly, we are lagging behind on our island, and time is running out. Our planet cannot afford to wait any longer. Our guests are asking for more sustainable options, but our hotels are still trying to catch up. How do we make sure local guidelines match with global sustainable standards, and how can Cyprus tourism industry step up and take an active role in this journey towards sustainability? Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a very powerful presentation, and I'm sure Vakis will have some answers for us, perhaps, on that last point. So let's move on, Vakis, to you about how, how can we catch up?
Thank you for giving me the floor. Sustainability is a key challenge, not only for Cyprus, for the future of global tourism. And it's directly linked with the viability of our tourism industry and also the welfare of the local population. The scope of the Cyprus tourist strategy is to establish Cyprus as an all-year-round destination, offering authentic experiences with care about the environment. We have to cater of the needs of the responsible traveler, who is very sensitive about the environment. Our role goes beyond simply increasing the number of tourist arrivals to the country. Our role is also to develop the destination as a whole and to manage tourism in a sustainable way through a holistic approach to tourism. Emphasis is given in product differentiation or product adaptation changes to develop products that are more environmentally and culturally oriented in responding to the changing market needs. Special emphasis is also given in developing thematic labels. Later I will speak about the Cyprus Breakfast, the label we developed together with the Sustainable Tourism Initiative, Taste Cyprus, Colorful Villages, the Nature Trails labels, and the Wine Routes. We are aware that the green transition involves a high cost, and this cost, we not expect the tourist business to cover this cost. They need help to cope the additional cost. The Deputy Ministry of Tourism operates 2 financial support schemes from the Resilience and Recovery Fund, subsidizing actions related with the use of renewable sources of energy, circularity, high technological solutions in the hotel and restaurant sectors. We also have a special scheme for local authorities in the hinterland. Last year we supported 80 authorities to replace the plastic furniture in streets and squares with more friendly materials. We also support authorities to plant more trees and to make their villages more colorful. We also promote the Heartland of Legends circular route, which includes more than 1,600 workshops free of charge. We subsidize all these workshops, so we provide funds for artists and people living in rural areas. But I'm sure that we'll have the chance later to explain more our policy. We are aware that the local authorities are our main partners in this effort. We cannot have a result. We realize that it's impossible to have a result unless we build the right synergies. CSTI is one of our collaborators in the Sun and Sea plastic-free projects, and we have also other collaborators. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Vakis. And our last speaker, this is so you can get to know them all and you'll know what questions you want to ask them at the end. Yianna Orphanidou, Coordinator of Hospitality and Tourism Studies at the University of Nicosia and also a board member of the CSTI. Yianna.
May I have the presentation for 5 slides that I wanted to share?
Yeah, have they got them?
I hope so.
Okay.
I'll send them. Yes. All right, so I'm here on behalf of the University of Nicosia and especially the School of Business. Definitely, as a higher education, it's our responsibility to educate the youth on sustainability, education and sustainability activities. As a University of Nicosia, and especially as the School of Business, we are very proud as far as the next one.
Can we have the next slide, please?
All right. As far as our achievements, I mean, we are a very diverse business school. We try to engage, society. We have a high level of supporting with scholarships our students, and this definitely position us among the top business schools, in Europe and the world. And sustainability now is in our strategic pillar. It's something that we have embedded all our curriculums in the business school. And recently we are the ones that we have actually managed to be, all right, perfect. Managed to be among the champions of PRME. I will show the next slide. What is very important as a business school is to have close relationship with the industry. We are the academic partners of the CSTI as a University of Nicosia. And as a business school, we have for decades now the advisory body that we collaborate with the industry, and we try to have a bridge between our school and the business and professional community. And as I mentioned before, what is very important for us is to align with the 17 SDGs. So everything that we are doing aligns with different SDGs that you can see here: quality education, gender equality, smart cities, sustainable cities is one of our major, research outputs as a business school. And as I mentioned, we're very, very proud because very recently we are the only business school, and as unique, that we have been awarded with the PRME, that we are actually align our education with responsible management education. And this is our flag, right now. And that's for now.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Yianna. Now, Philippos, we didn't actually, I think, show your slides at the beginning, but I think that they will come in nicely. If I can just start the discussion off by asking you how successful you think that the CSTI has been at encouraging the stakeholders to adopt sustainable practices. We heard about the cost. It doesn't always, I think, have to be very expensive. Do you think you've been successful? And can we have the slides that were given to you by Philippos, please?
Yes, I think we have been successful, and usually I would say that two reasons that we have been successful is that our connection leverage to convince the hoteliers to come on board. Like we have relationship with the TUI, Thomas Cook, the biggest tour operators in the world. So when we have them, they give us the leverage to convince the people to support. And also we are doers. We are very proud of doing, and not just talking, just achieving what are our deliverables of all our projects. And I'm very pleased that with 4 of the people here, we work together. Yeah. Poseidonia is our member, as a member of CSTI. We have a memorandum of understanding with the University of Nicosia, and we have an excellent relationship with the Deputy Ministry of Tourism. And our moderators has always been supporting, promoting our initiatives and our activities. And as always say, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. So we, as CSTI, we seek for partnerships with non-profit organizations, with academic institutions, with other private sections, even with the standardization here, to work together because we need to do something. Tourism is there, we need to make it better and more responsible. And this video will show you just the last year, some of our things that were touched, we worked on the last year in 2023. Can you show the video, please?
Okay, was that it? Thank you very much indeed. Has anybody got questions? I've got several more if nobody has, but you, I hope, are maybe connected somehow with the travel and tourism industries and perhaps have particular issues that you think we haven't yet sort of attacked. No? If not, I will press on. Vakis, let me ask you, the Deputy Ministry has a national strategy on sustainability. So can you tell us not only what it entails, but how do you measure its effectiveness? Okay, and I noticed that you said it's more than just increasing numbers.
Yes.
I would suggest to you that just increasing numbers is about the most unsustainable thing we can do.
We emphasize on quality. At this stage, we are trying to develop KPIs for measuring the progress, but we feel that there is a change in the tourism industry. The hoteliers have many good practices to show, and many of them have been awarded within zero waste initiatives. And because they have to do that, because in order to be included in various programs, the travel agents request from them to show their progress towards applying principles for sustainable management. We also believe that the training and initiate awareness about the importance of sustainability is very important. We give lectures in school, more than 200 lectures per year in school. We also subsidize many initiatives undertaken by NGOs like CSTI, Athina, Saimeba. We are the national coordinators of the Blue Flag Scheme. We have 76 beaches awarded with a blue flag, and we believe that we are in the right direction, but sustainability is a non-ending process. You always have new goals, and you evaluate your progress, and you proceed with new measures.
Okay, Athina, can I ask you, I believe that certification in Cyprus isn't mandatory. So can you explain in more detail what role the Cyprus Organisation for Standardization plays? What do you look for? And how can it help the stakeholders, particularly in the hotel industry?
Okay, well, the standardization organization is not actually involved with certifications as such. We contribute to the development of the ISO standards. ISO is the International Organization for Standardization, and we develop standards. But I have to say, Vakis could have been my colleague in certification, because he mentioned KPIs, he mentioned a continuous improvement, basically, saying that every year you need to update. Now, in our certification part for the past maybe 25, 30 years, we've seen in Cyprus an increasing number of hotels being certified against standards such as ISO 9000, which is quality, 14001, which is environmental management, 45001, which is health and safety. All these standards, food safety, that also relates to food waste. Now we have the carbon dioxide emissions that we are actually verifying. We are verifiers. And all these standards, all these guidelines refer to KPIs related to environment, health and safety, quality. All these hotels have shown tremendous progress. Now, to be honest, maybe 30 years ago, they did it because Thomas Cook or TUI or whoever asked them to be certified, and not because they could actually see the benefit. It's not mandatory to be certified, to answer your question. But the market actually makes it mandatory. So yes, 30 years ago, the tourist agents, mostly from Britain and from Scandinavian countries, they said, okay, in order for me to feel safe to bring my clients, because the clients are primarily clients of the tourist agent and next of the hotel, in order for me to feel safe, I need you to show me some type of conformance to environment, because we want to be sustainable, to health and safety because it's vital, to food safety, to quality. All these standards are working towards sustainability. They are tools. And when we say sustainable, we need to make sure that we mean the same thing, whether we are in Cyprus, in Greece, in Turkey, that is a country that is competing with us, or anywhere in the world. So the standards provide the framework. They're interpreted the same all around the world. We have new standards now referring to accessible tourism, standards for adventure tourism, for recreational diving, and these are not mandatory by law, but mandatory by the customers, by the market. we can inform, we can create awareness through the standardization body. We're the National Standardization Organization of Cyprus, so it's our mission to make everyone aware of what these standards are and how they can be implemented and what the benefits are. We work together with the Deputy Ministry of Tourism. For example, I did mention a standard about providers of recreational diving. Now, the ministry, the Deputy Ministry, has incorporated this standard into a recent legislation. So making it, that's a case where it's mandatory to be certified by the standard. So it's making it mandatory for all operators of recreational diving, whether it's free diving, snorkeling, and all these things that operate maybe without a framework as we speak. You know, on the beach, but with premises, maybe even in Nicosia, where there's no beach because that's where they operate. And gradually working together with the Deputy Ministry of Tourism, with the Ministry of Commerce, because the hotel industry, the tourism industry, for example, is not just the hotel industry. It's travel, like you said. The airports are implementing sustainable strategies and they're certified. It's the suppliers. In a previous panel, they were discussing very vividly about the waste. And Genia here mentioned the composting, and you said, with a question mark, I think, because you need to have the infrastructure as well, the government infrastructure, to be able to be sustainable. We provide the tools, we give you the solutions through the standards, and then certification verifies that you're implementing it in a way that makes you sustainable, and it's the declaration by someone else, an independent certification body, a third-party audit. So it's not you just saying it, because it's easy to have self-declarations and say we are this and that. And it's a different thing if we have someone attesting to this.
So who does the audit and how often? You can get your certificate, or you can get your I've got this, that, and the other, and then does anybody come back in 5-10 years and check that you're keeping up with, yeah?
There's a lot of certification bodies. It's not just us. We're just one of many. And on that note, certification bodies are also certified for this line of operation. So with the same type of audit, we have offices in other countries as well. We have offices in Egypt, where there's a lot of tourism. We have offices in Greece, in Italy. We do the same audits. There's many certification bodies. The audit is done annually. So it's not a question of auditing a hotel today and then 10 years later, there's still a certificate without someone inspecting.
In the tourist industry, there is the Global Sustainable Tourist Council, which approves the certificates that go around in the tourist industry. That is the ones mentioned by Athina, but there's also Travel Life, Green Key, or Green Globe, and other certificates. The point is, I agree with you right now that it is changing. The people, our guests that come into Cyprus are more environmentally friendly. They are asking for things. There are things that they can, you can show your performance of sustainability. Therefore, sustainability is a trend, but we want the people also to believe in it and not just to be greenwashing. So this is our goal, is to have real sustainable, because we have been in the industry for many years. I've been around in a lot of fora abroad. There is a lot of corruption in the higher levels of the United Nations with regard with greenwashing, and then we have to be very careful.
But I need to say something. Sustainability is not just being green. Exactly. Sustainability is governance, is inclusion, it's diversity, and I agree. Well. I agree with the greenwashing, but let's not forget that we're not talking about environment only. It's the internal environment, the health and safety, not just of the customer. To make it clear, the ISO 45001 for health and safety takes into consideration all aspects related to personnel as well, to the local community. We're talking about inclusion, diversion. When we speak about sustainable tourism, it's about practices that the local communities can also adopt.
I agree with you 100%. Okay. And our first project was to help the marginalized villages of Cyprus to benefit from tourism. Not all the benefit goes to the beach resorts like Limassol, like Yianna, Paphos. So we developed the village routes where we encourage the tourists to go see the marginalized villages, not the famous villages, so the villages will benefit. So the social aspect is very much part of the sustainability, very much agree.
Let me bring Yianna in here to tell us a little bit about what you think the role is of education in the tourist industry. I mean, people go to college and they get their certificate to say they've studied this, that, and the other. But I would imagine because of the changes we talked about at the very beginning, you've got to really keep up with what the latest certifications or the latest buzzwords are. How do you do that in an educational situation?
It's a big challenge. Yes. I mean, the most important thing for education, especially in the tourism hospitality programs, is that we need to catch up with everything and be always one step ahead. So especially with the degree programs, with the curriculum paths, with people entering, to a university, 4-year studies, what is very important is to ensure that the youth, they have connection with the industry, they understand the demands. The industry needs educated people that they are knowledgeable, but as well capable. So it's not just knowledge. Yes, you have to develop soft skills, you have to develop empathy, you have to develop skills that they will help them to adjust and be resilient. So this is very important for the tourism industry to understand how to cope with crisis management. We face a lot of crisis.
You have a lot of foreign students as well.
We have, yes.
So
it's an international
I'm very
audience.
interested to know if there are, let's say, different priorities among those students according to the tourist industry in their country, which they
Yes.
presumably will be going back to. How comparable is it, let's say, Asian, Northern European, South American, or whatever it happens to be?
It's very interesting because this gives us a lot of material, yes, to create case studies, to provide solutions, things that we take as a granted in a European era. Maybe it's not the situation in Asia or Africa, but sustainability as such, nowadays is something that everyone understands. And it's very important to share that we understand it in a holistic approach. It's the social cultural dimension, it's the environmental and the economical. So when we discuss about developing a new project and creating a feasibility study, a business plan, which is very important to bring these tools within your class in order the students of any audience internationally to understand how they can collaborate with the public authorities, how they have to engage NGOs, how they have to know the legislations to catch up, how we engage community, yes, labor issues, yes, local workforce, huge problem with labor shortage, yes. So there's a lot of challenges. And this is, our responsibility as higher education to have close collaboration with industry, with authorities, with public, and governmental authorities, yes, in order to bring within this educational environment all the know-how and reassure that we have people that they are critical thinkers and actually they can perform and develop. Yes,
yeah.
Lifelong learning. This is the most important thing.
We never stop learning. And let me just ask Genia one thing. You, I think, have some reservations about how our older hotels are able to compete with new builds. I want you to tell us what changes you would like to see to even the playing field. And in your chat with your film, I heard you say there's a lack of local guidance. So who should be guiding you and the rest of your compatriots in the hotel industry?
Well, we already discussed that sustainability, unfortunately, has a bottom-up approach in Cyprus, or at least in tourism. So we are forced to catch up because this is what guests are requesting and this is what tour operators also are enforcing. So when we come to apply our own procedures, we often don't find a lot of guidance in how to do them. To add on it, we can talk about, for example, food waste, and which is a hot topic at the moment, and with the with the pay-as-you-throw program that is coming up, we're going to face a big issue. Last year, we had an audit done with an expert professor from Greece, and he told us that we paid 9,500 euros to get rid of our waste last year, instead of 15,000, because we were doing very minimal recycling and sorting practices. However, he estimated that once the pay-as-you-throw system will be implemented, we'll be paying 40,000 instead of 9,500 for the same amount.
And that will have to be passed on to your customers. Can the Deputy Ministry guide you in this or enact legislature that will somehow help these the industry?
We need the municipalities because the good thing about it is that actually 80% of this waste is organic and food waste, which actually can be composted. So here we find ourselves in front of either we can see it as an opportunity if we have composting facilities where we can produce fertilizers or have gas or produce energy out of it. And it could be a burden when the only solution is to actually throw it in landfills and have to pay for it as well. So as we are standing now, it seems like it's more of a burden, but we are doing our own internal work at Poseidonia. We are already separating the organics to grow the habit of it, but at the end of the day, we are still throwing it in landfills.
But there are other alternatives, and I'll give you the floor in just a second to answer this, because I'm sure you can solve some of these problems. But there is actually a chicken farm somewhere north of Limassol that rescues chickens that were going to be killed and feeds them with organic waste, your leftover cabbages and whatever. They're expanding, so I'm sure they would love to go and collect waste from the hotel restaurants, for example, and then it's the circular economy. That's what this is about, isn't it? What's the Ministry's take on all of that?
First of all, I would like to say that the composting facilities is an eligible cost within the framework of the subsidization scheme we have now. So you can apply, has been approved under the Resilience and the Recovery Fund. But we are also partners in a project with the Employers Association. Within the framework of this project, they offer guidance and support to the hotels to develop their sustainability plans and proceed further with the implementation of their plans.
Okay.
So there are many, but the local authorities has a key role to play in sustainable development, because the local authorities are those who are going to implement the infrastructure.
And do you connect with them, or is it up to the hotels to connect with their own local authorities? Everything here always seems to be a bit separate, and I think a holistic approach might mean that you could solve the problems. We have a close cooperation with the local authorities, and they are involved in many circular economy projects, and I think they improve year by year, and they are working in the right direction. Okay.
What I would like to add here with regard with the food waste, we should not think about composting and recycling it, or which is a form of recycling, but reducing it.
Yes.
And I would like to see our vocational schools, for example, if you are to become a chef, to learn about how to reduce the food waste. And most of the food waste is in the preparation process in the kitchens, and also what is leftovers on the plates and the buffets. So we need to educate the people before you become a chef and have this big hat to know what exactly means to reduce the food waste. This should be our first goal, to reduce the food waste, and then whatever we produce, we'll see how we do to compost it. But the vocational schools, chefs, technical schools right now, they have to play their role. You graduate from you become a chef, you should have a course about sustainability and about, more specifically, about food waste. That should be a top priority, in my opinion.
And I would like to add here, because Intercollege is our vocational college, and we have culinary department, and actually one of the most important competences for the cooks and the future chefs is to have zero waste in the kitchen. And the challenge, and they are doing an excellent job with managing, all the purchases and the control of the raw material. And here is a creativity, to manage to have zero waste.
I think everybody would say that's great news. Now, I promised the organisers we would save some time. At the moment, we're going to save 7 minutes off our allocated hour. Does anybody have a question that we haven't covered that you'd like to put to the panel? Yes.
Excuse me, I joined you late, but let me ask the question. they can get some money to be able to carry out some remedial works and some sustainable works into their establishment. My question is whether any of you have used the Conto Hotel initiative to research planning game, and if you did, whether it brought the fruits that the directive was in place.
I'm not aware.
You know,
I'm not aware of this, actually.
well, it's been since 2013.
Oh dear, so we should be aware of
Maybe we
it.
should
So
get
what's
more.
its name again?
Condo.
Well, let me tell you, the Conto Hotel initiative it's on the CTO website as well. Ms. Athina,
It's not going to.
okay.
She retired now, but I.
The Conto Hotel initiative, for example, if I be able to name Amathus Hotel, Mediterranean Hotel, Four Seasons Hotel, they built towers next to their hotels. Those are Conto hotels. Those are leasehold apartments, which their purpose are to be given license to be built, to be sold by way of a leasehold, and from that amount of money they generate, the hoteliers should be able to get some money, instead of borrowing money, to get the money to bring up the hotels into the standards of today. That's BC 2013.
So it looks like our panel will also have to go home and do some homework as well. But this is the whole point of having meetings like this, is an exchange of information. So I can see that possibly you will be getting together with some of the people here, but if there are no more questions, 4.5 minutes we've saved. Go on, quickly.
So we need to evaluate the performance of Condor Hotel in relation to sustainability aspects, whether they really invest on sustainable issues or they just
Greenwash.
Yes.
There we go.
That was the base of the initiative.
Yes.
Can I thank you all very much indeed? Can you please give a round of applause to my panel who have saved you 4 minutes on your overall running time. Thank you very much indeed, everybody.
Thank you.